Aging is a natural and beautiful journey. Every wrinkle tells a story. Every gray strand carries wisdom. And every year adds more depth to who we are. But along with this beauty, aging also brings changes that many people don't openly talk about. One of those changes is something very personal: body odor. Now, before you frown or feel embarrassed, let me say this. It's not about poor hygiene or carelessness. It's about natural shifts that quietly happen inside the body as we grow older. Doctors have recently been warning that there are hidden habits and unnoticed reasons that can cause unpleasant smells, even when someone believes they are perfectly clean and fresh. And here's the shocking part. It doesn't always come from sweat or skipping a bath. Sometimes odor is actually a signal of deeper changes in the body, like hormone fluctuations, certain foods, medications, or even something as simple as hydration. That's exactly why this is a topic worth exploring, especially for older women who want to age with grace and confidence. Now, before we dive into the first silent habit that causes odor, let me pause for a quick second. If you find this kind of information helpful, practical, eye-opening, and focused on making your golden years healthier and more comfortable, then make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you won't want to miss the upcoming tips that can completely transform how you feel every single day. All right, let's continue. Most women don't realize that as the body ages, it naturally changes its scent. It's not something you can completely avoid. It's biological. For example, when estrogen levels drop, the skin and sweat glands behave differently. The body even produces new compounds that, when mixed with bacteria on the skin, can create odors that never used to exist in younger years. Sometimes the smell is faint, almost unnoticeable, but other times it becomes strong enough that other people may notice, even if you don't. That's what makes it tricky. Imagine going about your day confident and happy, not realizing that people around you are picking up on a scent that you don't smell yourself. That can be embarrassing, right? But here's the thing. You should never feel ashamed of it. This is nature. What matters is awareness and knowing how to manage it. And that's exactly what we're uncovering together today. And hey, while you're watching, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you'll always be the first to know about new tips on aging well, staying confident, and keeping your health in check. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Many women, without realizing it, have small everyday habits that quietly make this odor problem worse. Things like skipping meals, eating too much processed food, re-wearing clothes without washing, or even spraying too much perfume to hide odor. Ironically, that strong mix of perfume and natural body scent can make things more noticeable, not less. On top of that, certain medical conditions like diabetes, liver issues, or urinary tract infections can change body odor too. But because these shifts happen slowly, most people don't notice until someone else points it out. That's why paying attention to your body's silent signals is so important, not because of what others might think, but because those signals often reveal something about your health. All right, let's uncover the first silent habit that can make older women smell bad without realizing it. This one is so simple, yet so overlooked. It's poor hydration. Yes, water, or rather, the lack of it, could be silently changing how your body smells. As we age, the body doesn't hold on to water as effectively. To make matters worse, the natural feeling of thirst becomes weaker, so you don't even realize you're drinking less. But when the body is even mildly dehydrated, toxins that should be flushed out through urine and sweat stay inside longer. This makes both your sweat and your breath smell stronger. Doctors explain that when you're dehydrated, sweat becomes more concentrated. So even a small amount of sweat can produce a sharper, more noticeable odor. Now let me ask you, how many glasses of plain water do you honestly drink in a day? If your answer is 1 or 2, and you replace the rest with tea, coffee, or juice, you might be unintentionally making this problem worse. Drinks like coffee and black tea act as diuretics. They push water out of your system. And while juice may taste refreshing, it doesn't hydrate the body in the same way pure water does. Over time, this becomes a habit that not only affects your health, but also how you smell. Think about it. Dry mouth is one of the biggest hidden causes of bad breath in older women. Even if you brush twice a day, if your mouth doesn't produce enough saliva, odor-causing bacteria multiply quickly. It's one of those silent little habits that creates embarrassment before you even realize what's happening. Another clue? Pay attention to the color of your urine. If it's dark and has a strong smell, that's dehydration talking. And here's the tricky part. Sometimes urine odor lingers on underwear or bedding, especially if bathroom trips are delayed or if small leaks happen during sleep. This is very common in older age, but many women feel ashamed of it. Please don't. It's not about cleanliness. It's about your body asking for more hydration support. So here's the good news. You can fix this starting today. Carry a small water bottle wherever you go. Take little sips often, instead of waiting until you feel thirsty. Add slices of lemon, cucumber, or mint to make it refreshing. Eat water-rich foods like watermelon, cucumber, and oranges. And don't forget about soups or broths. They're great for hydration too. Not only will this reduce odor, but you'll also notice other benefits. Your skin will look fresher. You'll feel more energetic. Even digestion improves when you're properly hydrated. Isn't it amazing that something as simple as water can make such a difference? And remember, these are the kinds of simple but powerful tips we share here all the time. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect moment. Click that subscribe button, join our community, and let's age gracefully together. Fresh, confident, and full of life. So to wrap up, this first silent habit, not drinking enough water, is one of the biggest reasons behind unnoticed odor in older women. Fix this, and you'll already see a huge difference in how your body feels and smells every single day. And we're just getting started. There are more hidden habits to uncover that could surprise you. Make sure you stick around for the next one, because you might be guilty of it without even realizing. And trust me, once you know, you'll never look at your daily routine the same way again. The second silent habit that often makes older women smell bad without realizing it is wearing the same clothes, undergarments, or nightwear multiple times without washing them properly. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If something looks clean, feels fresh, and doesn't seem dirty, what's the harm in slipping it on again? But here's the truth. Fabric tells a different story than your eyes or nose might notice. As women age, the skin naturally sheds more dead cells, produces oils differently, and yes, sometimes has small leaks of urine or sweat that cling to fabric fibers. Even when clothes look spotless, they can trap invisible residues. Over time, these build up and create a musty or stale scent that lingers around the body. And the sneaky part? Most women don't notice it themselves because we get used to our own scent. But other people can sense it instantly. Think about this. You could take a refreshing shower, feel squeaky clean, and then slip into a blouse, bra, or pajama set that hasn't been washed in days. Within minutes, your skin absorbs the hidden smells trapped in that fabric, undoing the fresh feeling you just worked for. Doctors even warn that wearing unwashed clothes after bathing can reintroduce bacteria and odor faster than most people realize. And here's where it gets even trickier. Fabrics like cotton, polyester, or wool all hold onto smells differently. Sometimes cold water washes don't completely remove the odor. And if clothes aren't dried properly, if they sit damp in the laundry basket or don't get enough air, then a mildew-like smell can set in, one that's nearly impossible to cover with perfume. Speaking of perfume, let's be honest. Many women try to mask these smells with a spritz of fragrance. But perfume mixed with stale body odor doesn't create freshness. Instead, it often makes the scent stronger and more noticeable, especially with undergarments and nightwear, which stay in close contact with sensitive areas of the body. Bacteria and natural discharge mix with sweat and oils. And for women who may deal with bladder leaks or night sweats, the risk of odor clinging to clothes gets even higher. So what's the solution? Thankfully, it's simple. Create a consistent laundry routine. Wash undergarments after every single use, even if they look clean. Change nightwear daily or at least every other day, especially in warm months. Clothes worn outside should be aired out, or, ideally, washed before the next wear. Add a splash of white vinegar to your wash. It's a natural deodorizer that lifts stubborn smells. And always dry clothes fully in the sun or in a well-ventilated space, because damp fabrics are odor magnets. These may feel like small details, but trust me, they make a big difference. Breaking the habit of reusing clothes without washing doesn't just help you smell fresher. It reinforces your dignity and confidence. People around you will sense cleanliness and care, And you'll carry yourself with pride knowing that freshness isn't just on your skin, but in the clothes you wear. And before we move to the next silent habit, let me remind you, if you're finding these tips helpful, don't just listen and leave. Hit that subscribe button right now. Subscribing means you'll never miss the next piece of advice that could change how you feel in your everyday life. Our goal here is to help you age gracefully, confidently, and comfortably. And being part of this community keeps you one step ahead. Now, let's uncover the third silent habit that can cause older women to smell bad without even realizing it. And this one might surprise you, because it starts not with the body, but with the mouth. Yes, neglecting proper dental and oral care is one of the biggest causes of unnoticed odor in older women. Many people assume that brushing once a day is good enough, but as the body ages, the mouth needs more attention than ever. Here's why. The mouth naturally produces less saliva as we grow older, and saliva is what helps wash away bacteria and food particles. When saliva production slows down, dry mouth sets in, and dry mouth is one of the most powerful triggers of bad breath. Even if you brush every morning, if your mouth stays dry, odor-causing bacteria multiply fast and release sulfur compounds. These are the same foul-smelling chemicals that cause that rotten egg send people dread. And here's another hidden layer. Many medications prescribed for blood pressure, diabetes, or heart health list dry mouth as a side effect. So, without realizing it, the very pills that keep you healthy may also create an environment for odor. Add in food particles stuck between teeth, gums, or dentures, and you've got a recipe for bad breath that no mint or mouthwash can completely hide. Dentures especially can be tricky. Many women simply rinse them at night instead of soaking and brushing them. But dentures collect bacteria and food debris that release sour or metallic smells if not cleaned properly. Even natural teeth can trap plaque along the gum line when flossing is skipped, and that bacteria quickly turns into odor. Over weeks and months, these little lapses add up to a strong smell that can be noticeable in conversations and social gatherings. So what's the fix? Thankfully, it's straightforward: consistency. Brush at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste. Floss daily. Yes, daily, not just once in a while. Use an alcohol-free mouth rinse, because alcohol-based rinses dry out the mouth even more. If you wear dentures, soak them overnight in a proper cleaning solution and brush them before use each morning. Stay hydrated to keep saliva flowing. And if your mouth feels dry, chew sugar-free gum or use sugar-free lozenges to stimulate saliva naturally. Most importantly, don't skip dental checkups. Dentists can catch gum infections, cavities, or hidden issues that silently cause odor. What feels like just bad breath could actually be an infection that needs treatment. By paying attention to this silent habit, you can avoid one of the most overlooked sources of body odor. A fresh, clean mouth doesn't just boost confidence, it allows you to speak, laugh, and smile without worry, knowing the impression you leave is one of warmth and dignity, not odor. And once again, before we move on, I want to gently remind you, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. You're getting life-changing tips here, and by subscribing, you make sure you're always one step ahead in protecting your health, confidence, and self-respect. The fourth silent habit that often makes older women smell bad without realizing it is ignoring the skin's natural changes. Now, this might surprise you because we often think of smell as something caused by sweat or poor hygiene. But in reality, it runs much deeper. As women age, the skin changes in ways that no one really talks about. It becomes thinner, drier, and less elastic. At first, dryness may seem harmless, but what it really does is trap odors. Dead skin cells build up quickly, and if they aren't gently removed, they mix with oils and bacteria, creating a faint but stubborn smell that clings even after a shower. Doctors also explain that aging skin produces a compound called 2-nonenal. This is directly linked to what many call old person smell. It's not dirt. It's not neglect. It's simply a natural chemical change, but when left unmanaged, it can leave a woman smelling less fresh than she realizes. And here's where many women slip up without noticing: bathing less often. As the years pass, a daily shower may feel tiring or even unnecessary, especially in cold weather. Some women think, I don't sweat like I used to, so I don't need to bathe as much. But the truth is, even without heavy sweating, the skin is constantly releasing oils, dead cells, and bacteria that build up into odor. In warm, moist places, under the breasts and the armpits, around the groin, and in the folds of the stomach, This becomes the perfect trap for bacteria and yeast. The result? Strong smells that can be deeply embarrassing in close settings. Many try to cover this up with perfume or powder, but that rarely works. Fragrance doesn't erase the bacteria. It just mixes with it, often creating an even heavier scent. And when moisturizing is skipped because it feels greasy or unnecessary, the problem doubles. Moisturizers don't just make skin look soft. They protect against the dryness and tiny cracks where bacteria and fungi love to grow. Without that care, the skin can take on a sour, musty odor that lingers on clothes and bedding. Sometimes even medical conditions like diabetes or liver problems can subtly alter the way a woman's skin smells. And without proper cleansing, these scents become more noticeable to others, even if she can't detect them herself. This is why caring for your skin is about so much more than beauty. It's about freshness, health, and confidence. If you're finding these insights helpful, make sure to hit subscribe, because I share little-known habits like these every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. And speaking of what most women miss, there's another hidden source of odor you'd never expect. It doesn't come from your body. It comes from something sitting quietly in your closet. Sometimes, older women skip moisturizing because they feel it's unnecessary or too greasy. Maybe they thought, I'm not trying to impress anyone, so why bother? But here's the secret. Moisturizers aren't just about beauty. They actually help balance the skin and prevent something most women never think about: odor. When skin becomes overly dry or cracked, it gives bacteria and fungi tiny places to grow. And once that happens, it can produce a musty, sour smell that lingers even if you've bathed. On top of that, health conditions like diabetes or liver issues can subtly change the way skin smells, making dryness even more noticeable. This is one of those silent habits that sneaks up slowly. You may not notice it on yourself, but others often do. Have you ever met someone who looks well put together, yet there's an invisible mustiness that follows them? Most of the time, it isn't soap or perfume that's missing. It's moisture. The solution is easier than most women think. Gentle but consistent care makes all the difference. Showering or sponge bathing regularly keeps the body fresh, but the key is what happens afterward. Using a mild soap, exfoliating once or twice a week to clear away dead skin, and paying special attention to folds of skin are small steps that prevent odor. Then comes the most powerful one: applying a light, fragrance-free moisturizer. Not something heavy or greasy, but a simple hydrating lotion that keeps the skin balanced and less prone to odor. Cotton clothing and breathable fabrics also help, because they allow the skin to stay dry and reduce sweat buildup. And here's an encouraging thought. Even if mobility is an issue, there are still easy solutions. A warm washcloth or gentle wipes in key areas daily can do wonders for freshness. The point isn't to overwhelm yourself with routines, but to care for your skin the way it quietly asks you to. So let me ask, do you skip moisturizing because it feels unnecessary? If so, you might be missing one of the most powerful secrets to smelling fresh and feeling confident. And if this tip surprises you, make sure to subscribe. I'll be sharing even more insights women over 60 often never hear. Now let's talk about another silent habit that many women don't even realize is shaping how they smell: the foods they eat. Most of us know that garlic or onions can linger on the breath, but here's the surprising part. Those smells don't stop at the mouth. The sulfur compounds in garlic and onions actually enter the bloodstream, and from there, they are released through your skin. That's why even after brushing your teeth or showering, the smell sometimes lingers. But it isn't just garlic or onions. Spicy dishes, heavily fried foods, and processed meals all have compounds that stick around longer than expected. And for older women, metabolism slows down, which means those food-related odors last even longer. Have you noticed how, as you age, certain foods sit heavier than they used to? Well, the same thing happens with smells. They hang on. On the flip side, eating too much sugar or processed food can upset the balance of bacteria in your gut and even on your skin. That imbalance often leads to stronger, unpleasant odors. And for women managing diabetes or prediabetes, high blood sugar sometimes creates a sweet or fruity smell in the breath or sweat. Others might notice it before you do, and it can feel confusing or even embarrassing. Another often overlooked factor is eating too much red meat. The body struggles to break down some of the proteins, which leaves behind byproducts that come out to the skin. And since digestion slows down with age, that heavy meal can linger far longer than you expect. Here's another curious detail. Skipping meals or eating too little can also affect odor. When the body doesn't get enough fuel, it starts burning fat stores for energy. That process releases something called ketones, which carry a sharp, sour smell, often compared to nail polish remover. Some women think they're being healthy by cutting portions too small, but the body has its own way of signaling when it needs balance. The good news? Food is one of the easiest ways to improve freshness. Simple changes bring powerful results. Adding more greens, citrus fruits, and water-rich foods helps cleanse the system naturally. Drinking enough water supports the liver and kidneys in flushing away odor-causing compounds. Lean proteins like fish or chicken are easier to digest than heavy red meat, which reduces the intensity of body odor. Herbs like parsley, mint, and fennel are natural fresheners, and probiotic-rich foods like yogurt can balance gut bacteria, leading to fresher breath and skin. So ask yourself, do you enjoy garlic, onions, or spicy foods often? Or maybe you've noticed that sweet smell when blood sugar runs high. Paying attention to these little details makes all the difference. And remember, it's not about cutting out all your favorite meals. It's about balance. If you're finding this helpful so far, don't forget to subscribe. Food is one of the most powerful tools for health, beauty, and even confidence. And we're just scratching the surface. The sixth silent habit is one that often feels invisible until someone else points it out. Health conditions and medications. As women age, it's common to develop issues like diabetes, kidney challenges, or liver changes. What many don't realize is that each of these conditions carries a unique scent. For example, diabetes can sometimes create a sweet or fruity smell in the breath. Kidney issues can produce a urine-like or ammonia odor, and liver problems often leave a musty or sour scent on the skin. These aren't signs of poor hygiene. They're quiet messages from the body itself. Medications add another layer. Many women take daily prescriptions for blood pressure, heart health, or arthritis. While these medicines are life-saving, they can cause dry mouth, metallic-tasting saliva, or sweat that smells different than before. Even common supplements like fish oil or iron can leave a distinct odor. Because the changes happen slowly, most women don't connect the dots. They simply wonder why freshness feels harder to maintain. On top of that, mobility challenges make self-care more difficult. Joint pain, fatigue, or weakness can make bathing less frequent, or some areas harder to reach. And when folds of skin or sensitive areas don't get cleaned properly, odors build up quickly. Even small bladder leaks, if not managed well, can create noticeable smells that a woman herself might not detect. But here's the empowering part. These challenges don't mean defeat. Regular checkups with a doctor can catch issues early, and talking openly about side effects can sometimes lead to medication adjustments. Small aid like sugar-free gum for dry mouth, breathable pads for leaks, or gentle wipes for daily freshness can make life easier. Even asking for help with personal care, though it may feel uncomfortable at first, is an act of dignity and self-respect, not weakness. Think of it this way. Body odor isn't always a matter of soap and water. Sometimes it's your body quietly whispering that it needs care from inside. By listening to those whispers, you protect not only your confidence, but also your long-term health. So let me ask, have you noticed any small changes in your natural scent since starting a new medication? Or have you brushed aside hints from your body, thinking they're just part of aging? Paying attention can transform both your health and your confidence. And if you're finding these insights valuable, make sure to subscribe. Staying fresh, vibrant, and dignified in every season of life is possible. And together, we'll uncover even more ways to make it happen. That's the power of awareness. These 3 silent habits, skipping skincare, overlooking food choices, and not noticing the impact of health or medications, are among the biggest reasons older women sometimes smell without realizing it. But the moment you recognize them, you can take back control. Freshness isn't just about hygiene. It's about confidence, dignity, and the quiet pride of knowing you carry yourself well at any age. Aging is a journey filled with wisdom, grace, and experience. But it also brings small changes that often stay hidden. And sometimes these quiet changes show up in ways we don't expect, like body odor. But remember, this is not about being unclean or careless. It's about the body shifting in ways many people never talk about. The good news is once you're aware of these silent habits, you can take simple steps that keep you feeling fresh, healthy, and confident every single day. So let me ask you, have you noticed any of these little habits in yourself, or maybe in someone you love? Maybe skipping a glass of water, reusing clothes, or forgetting to moisturize. These are easy things to overlook, but they make a bigger difference than most realize. The beauty is, with just small, consistent changes, like caring for your skin, paying attention to your diet, and staying hydrated, you can completely transform the way you feel and the way others experience your presence. Every woman deserves to sit with dignity among family and friends, to walk into a room with quiet confidence, and to enjoy her senior years without ever worrying about hidden odors. And you can absolutely have that. It's not about perfection. It's about awareness and a little daily care. If you found these insights helpful, I'd love for you to join our growing community here. Hit the subscribe button, because we share more honest, simple, and life-changing tips to help you age gracefully and powerfully. Your support inspires us to keep bringing you advice that makes your journey healthier, fresher, and happier. Stay connected, stay confident. And remember, you deserve to feel your very best at every stage of life.